Use more, only if you dare, but watch out. The gals will all pursue ya. They'll love to get their fingers in your hair.
One of those nights. You know what the problem is. Your system isn't doing its job. Constipation. Where do you turn? To the laxative more people turn to than to any other. To X-Lax, the gentle, dependable, overnight laxative. Only X-Lax has a medically approved laxative ingredient in convenient chocolated tablets.
Loveliest of the star-studded lively ones, the 63.5 Ford Sports Hardtop. A wonderful...
Topping the line for 63 are the luxurious Impalas.
He's so fine. Wish she were mine. That handsome boy over there. One with the wavy hair. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna make him mine. He's the envy of all the girls. It's just a matter of time. He's a soft-spoken guy.
Chrysler 300, pace car that led the pack at the Indianapolis 500 on Memorial Day.
And he asked me to leave my throne. I did anything that he asked, anything to make him my own. Boy, he's so fine, so fine, so fine, so fine, so fine, so fine. I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Nobody knows where my Johnny has gone, but Judy left the same time. Why was he holding her hand when he's supposed to be mine? It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Play all my records, keep dancing all night, but leave me alone for a while. Till Johnny's dancing with me, I've got no reason to smile. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Judy and Johnny just walked through the door like a queen with her king. Oh, what a birthday surprise! Judy's wearing his ring. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Oh, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
ちの夜上を向いて歩こうにじんだ星を数えて思い出す夏の日一人ぼっちの夜幸せは雲の上に幸せは空の上に上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩く一人ぼっちの夜思い出す秋の日一人ぼっちの夜
Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans now on American Bandstand. Why do lovers break each other's hearts?
Why do lovers break each other's hearts? Oh, tell me why do lovers have to drift apart?
The black guys dance with the black girls and the white guys dance with the white girls because that's where it was those days. Nothing happened. Nobody cared.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This afternoon, following a series of threats and defiant statements, the presence of Alabama National Guardsmen was required on the University of Alabama to carry out the final and unequivocal order of the United States District Court of the Northern District of Alabama. That order called for the admission of two clearly qualified young Alabama residents who happened to have been born Negro. That they were admitted peacefully on the campus is due in good measure to the conduct of the students at the University of Alabama who met their responsibilities in a constructive way. I hope that every American, regardless of where he lives, will stop and examine his conscience about this and other related incidents. This nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Today we are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free. And when Americans are sent to Vietnam or West Berlin, we do not ask for whites only. It ought to be possible, therefore, for American students of any color to attend any public institution they select without having to be backed up by troops. It ought to be possible for American consumers of any color to receive equal service in places of public accommodation, such as hotels and restaurants and theaters and retail stores, without being forced to resort to demonstrations in the street. And it ought to be possible for American citizens of any color to register and to vote in a free election without interference or fear of reprisal. It ought to be possible, in short, for every American to enjoy the privileges of being American without regard to his race or his color. In short, every American ought to have the right to be treated as he would wish to be treated, as one would wish his children to be treated. But this is not the case.
I enjoyed going to Manual High School, and I especially enjoyed being a part of the class of 1963. We were one of the first. Cultural, ethnicity, religious differences were not differences to us. We cared about each other for who we were and what we stood for. We all had a common goal, which was to achieve academic excellence, and we did this with an excellent faculty and staff. We became friends, and we have remained friends to this day.
At Manual High School, we studied, we played, we danced, we dated, we married interracially before American Bandstand even thought about integrating their television program. Pat is right. We were first.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep. American high schools may try different ways to improve, but one American principal is not thrilled about his choices.
To me, the metaphor for high schools in the United States is vending machines. You know, you got lots of poor quality choices and you just pull whatever lever you want. And that's just a terrible model for an educational system.
Rob Stein is the principal of one school that's been trying to come up with choices that are not in the vending machine. Over the past school year, we've profiled a number of innovative schools across the country, and we're going to finish at Manual High. It's a Denver school that had so many problems that authorities decided to start over.
Having your home school shut down on you can be an overwhelming experience. I attended Manual High School, which was shut down due to low test scores and low enrollment. Well, that's what I was told.
Is signed, sealed, and delivered to Barack Obama.
Attending Manual High School was phenomenal. It was such a nurturing environment. Every one of us were treated the same. We were treated like we belonged. It was that environment that really challenged every one of us to be our very best and really gave us the opportunity, quite frankly, to lead. And it was really not only a nurturing environment, but very much a village here.
Manual has a long history of success. Manual has a history of struggling as well. Manual in 2006 was closed because of performance. The community at that time was very disappointed by that.
I was angry. Very next day, I could not wait to get up and call Michael Bennett to ask him what the hell he's doing with regards to our school. But it took 30 seconds for me to sit down with Michael Bennett that day, look at what he was looking at, what the school board was looking at when they made the decision to close the school, and it was no longer an argument. The very next words out of my mouth, how do I help you open it back up?
After some very passionate discussions with the community and with the district, we decided that we wanted to reopen the school and take it in a different direction to really revitalize what we knew to be the great things about Manual.
If you look at the history of Denver, at the history of Manual, a lot of very significant figures have come from this school in this city, and they've been sort of revolutionary in how they've approached things, and we're just trying to live that legacy and bring that back to Manual.
So I'm pretty glad we're in school. Like, I could be doing something positive.
The more contact time you can have with kids, the better. And I really just feel like the more time we spend with the kids, the more they'll learn, the less they'll forget, the more active their brains will be.
26 divided by 3, enter, that's 26.
We don't look at our students and say, oh, they're worse off or than students in other places. We do acknowledge that they come with different struggles, different life situations.
I think it's just because the background everyone comes from is everyone is so like hurt and they just have so much things going on.
A lot in the neighborhood, you've always had to deal with things that have happened, and it's never easy. There's not really any shielding of what happens in the neighborhood. Like, parents will try to protect their kids from it, but eventually it all catches up to you. Like last year, there were a couple shootings in front of the school and just things that have happened in the neighborhood.
My dad always wanted me to go live with him because he has like this really nice house and everything, but I always wanted to stay with my mom just because that's what I'm used to. And, but she hasn't always been there for us either, so it's like it's like my grandparents are my parents.
You know, our kids are just as capable as any other student in the district. They are able to achieve at high levels. It's just a matter of they need folks who believe that they can, and that's what we do. We believe that they can.
All right. Do not accept mediocrity. You're better than that. Have a great rest of the day.
Manual is succeeding, but our success is way too slow. The achievement gap is way too big, and we're closing the achievement gap way too slowly. So in a desperate situation, we are taking drastic measures. We didn't want to give up what we are doing. So the only way we could figure out to expand these possibilities was to make a longer day and make a longer school year. So we added the time so we could continue doing what we're doing, but add these additional opportunities for students. We bring the community to the school every day. We have classes that are taught by community partners.
Involving our community partners helps us with our students because we believe that it takes a village. In order to really shift the paradigm of possibilities for our students, success cannot just be the language of the school, success has to be the language of the community.
And then we take students out of the building every 11 weeks to experience the world outside of their community.
We, caravanned up to Colorado State University and piled into the dorms and not only got to take a look at the campus, but to really ground ourselves. A lot of the social capital that a lot of other seniors in the district and in the state and in the nation graduate with, our students don't necessarily have those networks, those connections, those experiences that kind of give them a leg up when they're competing for places in college or for jobs. And so we want to make sure that part of the reason why we're getting them out on these learning excursions is to connect them with those professionals, those experts, get them onto college campuses so that they can build up that social capital.
When you face those gaps every day, you begin to believe that there are no opportunities, that this is as good as it gets. And so the reason that we're bringing the opportunities to them and taking them out into the world is so that they see that that is not true, that there is lots of possibilities.
I wish I could go back in time and make things a lot better and make things more reasonable so we wouldn't have to make such drastic changes, because every year I've been at high school has been different, because freshman year was different than sophomore year, and obviously this year's a lot different than both of those. So
if we can add an extra hour, we can start school a month earlier to give these young people a fighting chance to get better and to perform better, then I'm all for it. You're a Thunderbolt. You carry yourself like a Thunderbolt. You carry yourself with the pride of being a Thunderbolt. That's in the classroom and outside of the classroom.
I mean, we might not have the best family at home, but here we can count on anybody and everybody.
We are in a revolution of the mind. And so the solution to the problem is going to be that they become educated and then they become active.
It makes you realize, like, school is the only option. The success is the only way out.
It makes me proud to think that in 10 years I can look back on my life and say I was part of that revolution at Manual and I was part of that change, and how I helped remake the name of Manual and change it from a negative, where people look at the school and think, oh, you went to Manual, like negatively, to you went to Manual, like that school that changed a lot of stuff.